Hi there, Janet Fritz here for Galaxy Girl Creations. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to the Stretch the Sketch video hop. Today we are using this sketch from Page Maps, and as you can see it has two horizontal 4x3 photos. Now I'm going to turn that sketch 90 degrees and I am going to keep my photos horizontal, but the rest of the sketch will be more of a vertical. So the sketch had the banner piece coming in from the left hand side, and I'm going to have my banner pieces coming in from the top. So I am going to go ahead and cut up a bunch of paper. Majority of this is all from Chamel's Starshine line, I believe, and it's pretty old. I've had it in my stash quite a while, and I decided I better quit hoarding it and make room for more product. So besides, it looks better in my album than in a stack on my shelf. So that was the goal here. And I know that all of the papers go together because they're all from the same collection, or there may be one or two pieces that are from her True Stories collection and mixed in there. But they're all going to match because she uses a lot of the similar colors in those two collections. So I went ahead and cut my pieces into strips between 2.5 to 3 inches wide, and you can see here I am cutting them into fishtails, and then I'm using my circle punch and just sliding it into the sliding it in through the bottom of the punch there, and so it'll cut a half circle. Actually, this is not just a circle punch, it's a scallop punch. So I wanted a scallop half circle at the bottom of some of these banners. So that's what I went ahead and did there. And then some of them I will cut into the reverse of the fishtail, so it'll be more like a V coming down. And then I'm going to go ahead and ink them up. I'm using a Prima chalk inker, and I believe it's in, I want to say it's Farmer Jeans. Yeah, it's the Farmer Jeans color that I'm using. And pretty much everything on this layout is inked up except for the photos will be matted in white, and I did not ink those mats up. I'm not going to make you sit through all of the inking, and I'm sure you know how to do that. So I know I want to use a darker background to kind of create more of a neutral. Granted, blue is not really a neutral, but it's kind of going to ground the photos a little bit more. There's a lot of color on these strips and in the background papers that I've chosen, so I want to make sure that I go ahead and use something dark to kind of ground it all together. I went ahead and cut these into 6 inches, so I basically cut the paper in half, and then I took about an inch, actually about 2 inches off of the edge, so that it will not span the entire layout. Now here's a kind of funny thing. I went ahead and I glued, or I adhered all of this blue cloud paper down, and then I started laying my strips down on top, realizing that by doing that I covered up all of the blue paper. I have no idea what I was thinking when I did that. But I was just going along with it, thought I was doing something that, you know, was going to look great, and then it occurred to me, you'll see here in a second, it occurred to me that now that you can't even see any of the blue paper, what was the purpose of even having the blue paper? And so I'm going to take it all off, take that blue paper off, set it aside, and then do the banner strips first rather than second. And I believe in the sketch it does have the banner piece over the top of the rectangular mat, but I did the reverse because obviously I wanted that paper to show, and because I'm using so many photos, it's going to cover up a lot of the paper. So I will be using 3 photos on each side, and I have trimmed those down considerably, so they are no longer 4x6. They are more like 3.5 by 5. just so that I can get a little bit more on the page and not have the pictures covering up everything. I do that quite often when there's a lot of excess in the photos that I don't really need to show, like grass or sky or whatever. And here I'm realizing I need to split all of these banners in half so that they stick out above the blue cloud paper and below. So you saw me cut those down so that it would span the distance. And then I also realized the one on the far right and the far left cannot have a cut in them, because those two are going to be visible from behind the paper down the edge, so the paper would not cover that up. So that was kind of my decision-making process there. And then I'm just using my my T-square ruler to make sure everything is level. And I did use that to span, when I put the banners in, I used that to line up the top with the bottom since they are cut in half. I didn't want it to look like they were off kilter. And then this green piece, I really like that green piece because there's so much green in the photographs with all the green grass. I want to make sure I pull that in, and I didn't have a lot of it. So you can see here I'm going to cut it with the scallop punch going the opposite direction of the way I cut the others. Did not like that at all. So I'm just going to use the flat edge and tuck it under and just have that little bit of green peeking out. And I really like how it just, it kind of draws everything together with the tons of grass in the photo. There's also a lot of navy blue in the photo and red. So those were some of the colors that I kind of chose to highlight in my embellishing as well. So I'm not going to make you sit through the entire left-hand side of the page. I did the exact same thing. So we can go ahead and move on to some of the embellishing and whatnot so that you can see this video without having to sit through 30 minutes of video. This layout actually took me like maybe an hour and a half, hour and 15 minutes when all is said and done. And so I didn't want you to have to sit through everything. It is sped up considerably, but I cut out some of the mundane and monotonous stuff that you've already seen me do. So these are clear stickers. These are also from the same Chamel collection. And with them being on a clear background, I wanted them to be white in the background to tone it down, because with all of the colors going on, they would not stand out very well at all if I left them clear. So I knew I wanted some circular elements because there's so much, so many linear things on this page, a lot of straight lines. And here I'm auditioning this piece of paper to put a journaling spot in. And I'm going to go ahead and cut it down and tuck it up under there, and then realize now I'm covering up more of that navy blue, which I really want to peek out. And I really like having it as that, just that grounding element. And I also realized I have another layout that I've already done with a couple other photos on it for this event, and it has all of the journaling on it already. So this layout is not going to require much journaling at all. So I went ahead and decided not to use that little piece of paper. All of these little round elements, I went ahead and popped those up on craft foam so that it would give some dimension and some lift to the page. I do like texture on my pages, and I thought that would be a nice thing. So I also had this red adhesive backed ribbon here on my desk, so I went ahead and used it. I thought, you know, it was a perfect place to use it. It added more texture and more darker, that's not even a very good phrasing there. Poor grammar. So it added darker elements to the page, which I really liked, and so I went ahead and put a little bit in each of my embellishment spots, and it also provided a little shelf for some of my embellishments to rest upon. So I went ahead and divvied those out into little spots that I had planned on putting embellishments. And let's see here. I think I'm just using some leftover craft foam. You can see there in the bottom center of the screen where it has the craft foam with the letters cut out of it. I cut those out for another project, and I just use the leftover foam for my scrapbooking all the time so that I don't waste a whole bunch. And you can get that stuff super cheap at Walmart or pretty much any craft store. I really love the little sayings on there. The little pink one that I put up in the upper corner says up, up, and away, and it's right above these rockets. So that is basically what they're doing in these pictures. We were at a family Cub Scout event, and they were shooting off water rockets. So we basically made the water rockets, and then you put a water bottle inside and tape them. You tape the tube of the rocket over the water bottle, and then you fill the water bottle, and they have a release lever the kids get to pull, and they shoot up into the sky. I don't know, a few hundred feet. And the boys really love it. Actually, the girls loved it too. And so we also had some kite flying going on, and just a few other. I think there was a picnic and bike riding. So quite a few outdoorsy fun things to do in the summer for Cub Scouts. So I do have the embellishments there that I'm using. Say the sky's the limit. There's a rocket ship that says awesome under it. The one in the bottom right hand corner says be brave and nothing but love. And then the one in the bottom left hand corner says capture the moment, explore, and lovely. I had a hard time deciding where that little globe was going to fit because I really didn't want the transition of paper showing behind the base of the globe. So that's one reason I tucked in the little pink paper there. But then when I moved it up, I really didn't need to do that anyway, but the pink paper looked fine, so I went ahead and left it there. I'll probably put a little notation or the date on it. I'm going to finish off the embellishing with some Bella Boulevard puffy star stickers to add some more texture to each of the areas. I really like a lot of texture on my pages, so I think that's going to add some nice dimension. And off screen I will add some stitching across the top of the banners. It'll reach from the outermost banner all the way through to the center of the page, and you'll see that in the close-ups. Thanks so much for watching my video today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead and give me a thumbs up down below, and if you're not a subscriber already, I hope you hit that subscribe button. I'll see you next time, and again, thanks for watching, and stick around for the close-ups.